This is probably gonna have to get cut one.
Okay.
But so who was it who gave us the great presentation? She showed us how the tree's grafted here onto the rootstock, and then just below that here, you've got these really fine fibrous roots on the top of the root ball. You want to break some of those up, and you also want to break them up on the sides. And then how we choose where the planting height is going to be and where the grade is going to be is where this trunk starts to flare out into what we call the buttress roots or structural roots. So we're going to pop this out of here, and there's all kinds of little hand tools you can use for this, but since you guys have a shovel, may I? I would just lay it down there and then cut a vertical line in the roots like that, and do that 4 times.
You hear the tree crying?
It'll thank us later. So what that's doing is, in the nursery, these things have started to outgrow their pots, and all these roots are just circling the outside. And then, so what you're going to do from there, get in there, get a little dirty. I think there's gloves, aren't there? Gloves?
Yeah, we've got gloves.
Okay. So just break these up. Try to get them so that, and you are damaging the roots, but that's actually going to, encourage them to grow outward into the soil. So get all those broken up. Demonstration, I won't spend too much time on it, but what I was saying about this top part is just really try to break this top mat up.
And next week we'll come back and replace the dead tree.
Right, yeah.
No, the tree will thank us for this.
Seems like tree torture, but they've done a lot of trials with these, and they found that the more planting preparation you do, the more survivability. So I wish there was a good example of a tree right around us, but you notice some of the old trees over there, where the trunk comes down and meets the ground, it flares way out. And like I said, that's the buttress roots or root flare, and we want to mimic that with these nursery plants. So we call it the mulch volcano. When you see the landscapers, pile the mulch, way up like this against the trunk, this tissue needs to breathe.
What do you guys know about that?
Yeah,
Donuts,
who here's done?
not volcanoes.
What's that?
Donuts, not volcanoes.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And then who here's done like plant biology? Anybody? Or at least an overview of it in biology class?
50 years ago.
3 years ago? Yeah.
No, 50 years ago.
So in photosynthesis, the counterpart to that is the respiration. And so part of the tree's ability to breathe, exists in the bark, not just the leaves. So this tissue here does not want to be covered in mulch, which then holds water and then doesn't allow it to breathe. So we'll call that one good enough, and once we get this hole a little bit wider, it's plenty deep because we really only need, about to there to be buried. And then we want all of this to be right at the surface or just above the surface, because it's going to settle down over time.
So maybe we should do that with the tree before we finish digging our hole, so we can see where we need it.
That's a great idea. Yep. You will, yeah, you're going to need some of that. So I know a lot of you guys already started, but the best way to conserve dirt is to actually take the shovel and scrape all this grass off first. Set that aside so that all you're digging is dirt. Little trick.
And water?
Dig, 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 dig.
What's that?
And water?
Yeah, it's going to take... Roy, you got a plan for watering these things, right?
Yeah, I've got a hose that comes down here. We're going to hook some other
cool.
hoses to keep going, and they'll probably have to bucket the last of it, because I don't think we're going to have enough hoses to get all the way down there. Like, you have a hose that can water all this stuff.
Yeah, we'll soak them, and then we're going to mulch them.
And Mr. Benner is a caretaker here who will be checking on the trees regularly.
So if they die, I'm the guy.
Thank you, Mr. Cowherd.